Hi, this is Rachelle at Scrapcraftastic, and I am back to further work on my, I guess you could call this a DIY traveler's notebook. It was originally pocket rings. I removed the rings, added an insert to turn it into a traveler's notebook, and so I have elastics, and these are the notebooks from the Walmart Pen and Gear Daily Planner. They are passport size, so 3.5 by 5. And I have 4 of the 12 notebooks in this planner. So I want to kind of accessorize it, start decorating it a little bit, making it more personalized. So I have created this folder that I'm going to be giving away to everyone. The link will be in the description box below to go to my website and download it. I printed 2 on regular cardstock. So this is the actual folder side, and then this is a pattern side so that the back wouldn't just be plain. It's kind of got like a coffee shop feel to it, and it is passport size. I made it a little bit wider, so if you want to wrap it around a couple of inserts or notebooks, you can do that. And I printed 2. This one I printed at best quality with plain paper setting. This one, I'm not sure if you can see the difference on camera, but I can see it in person. This has a more red look to it. This is more true to color. This I used high quality, but I set it using, I think it was the HP presentation paper. So the presentation paper print worked better to me than just the plain on best. Presentation on best gave the best color. I don't think it mattered that much. Well, yeah, this is a richer color too. This is more washed out. Now you can do this 2 ways. You can actually laminate the folder or use the folder as is without laminating. You can go over it with some packing tape. I'm going to cut this one out. All right, so this is what it looks like all cut out. That's the back side. Now I'm going to use my scoreboard. You can use a ruler and your bone folder to fold. And there are some very faint dashed lines on the sides to show you where to score at. I did not put one down the middle, but I can tell you here where to score at. So this is 8¼ inches wide. So you would score, the center would be 4 1/8. So I'm just going to score down the middle carefully. Then the left flaps are 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. The right flaps are 1/2 inch. So that would be what? 7 5/8. Or you could flip it around and score at 1/2 inch. Let's flip it around and score at 1/2 inch. I think that's better. Score at 1/2 inch. There we go. Then the bottom piece would be scored at 2.5. So your pocket is 2.5 inches deep. And that's it for the scoring. All right, so then I'm just going to fold everything. Then this goes here and here. This goes here and here. All right. And then it will fold in half like so. See if I can line that up neatly and burnish that fold. Burnish, burnish, burnish all the way around. Okay. All right. So this is what it's going to look like. And let's go ahead and glue the pieces together. Now you can decide if you want your flaps to go over the bottom or not. I'm going to leave them on the inside. I think I like them better on the inside. That way you can see the full design here. All right, so I'm going to use some art glitter glue. You can use whatever glue you choose. I'm going to put glue on the outside of this flap. All right, and then fold my pocket over it. Same thing on this side. Fold the pocket over it. Now these two flaps are this way to kind of help reinforce the sides. You don't have anything at the top, but this is like the sides where you would be turning the page. So I am going to glue those down. Oop. I'm going to use my bone folder to make sure that glue is spread really well. Close up my glue. I didn't round that corner very well. Now you could also ink around the edges of this. If you didn't want that white core of the paper to show, you could use your Tombow markers to kind of just guide the marker around the edge if you don't use the ink or a highlighter or whatever you choose to deal with the color. And so this can go on the elastic like so. Now I didn't do the little divot. Let's do the little divot because I can see that my elastic is pulling. So I'm going to use my hole punch. Punch a little half circle here like so, and one at the bottom like so, and then attempt to put this on the elastic without tearing it up. All right, so there we have the folder. Now that's the unlaminated version. Okay, so you can add your stickers or whatever you want in the pockets, as long as it's small enough to fit. And that's what it's going to look like in the notebook. Now, this is just paper. If you want something sturdier, then you can laminate it. You can laminate the whole thing. Just put this whole thing in a laminate pouch, just like this, and laminate it. Then trim it out. To open the pockets, you pretty much do the same thing that we did to create this laminate cover or insert, where you just take your blade and go along the air bubble here around the edge of the pockets to open the pockets up. The inside would not be laminated, just the outside parts of this. I do have a video showing how to do that. I will link to it in the iCard up above and in the description box below so you can check it out. But I'm also thinking that we can do a laminate version and just laminate one side, which would be the outside here. So I think I want to try that. I'm going to turn on my laminator and let that warm up. I could just go ahead and laminate this and show you, because I think just the paper is not really heavy enough. Maybe if I used 100-pound cardstock, the heavyweight paper, or cardstock from Michael's, that would have been better, but we'll see. So I'm going to laminate both of them. So I'm just going to laminate the whole thing. All right. Then this one, I'm going to laminate just the outside and see which one I like the best. And I'm just going to laminate this before I even cut it out. I'll cut it out after it's laminated. Okay, so I have my other laminator here warming up. I haven't used this in a very long time. This is the laminator that I got back during the Panini. It was on a deep discount, so I bought two at the time and I gave one away. I am going to go ahead and laminate this pocket like I would traditionally. So let me go ahead and put that in one of these pouches. These are 3mm laminate pouches. This is a C95 Fellows laminator. Okay, so that's in there. So we're going to play around with that. Then we're going to also attempt to laminate single-sided. So what I'm going to do, this is a misprint where it got jammed in my printer. So I'm going to use a blank sheet. So just pretend that's a blank piece of copy paper. And then my folder. And I'm going to put that in here. Okay. So I want to make sure those two pieces of paper are lined up together well. Now I have done single-sided laminate before by cutting the pouch and just using one sheet of the pouch, but I think this is a safer way of doing it. So here we go. All right, so we got the two pieces of paper ready and just our folder here. The excess laminate I'll keep and use in a junk journal or whatever the case may be. So this laminator is a little bit bigger than my other one, so it takes up a little more space, and I'm still waiting on it to warm up. So let's start with this folder first. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut the excess off of this. So let's go ahead and laminate this one. So I'm going to turn it off for now. I may need to use it again in a moment. Let's start with this one. I'm going to trim off the excess laminate. So I line the edge of the design up with the white edge on the paper trimmer and cut. I'm cutting outside of the air bubble that goes around the laminated piece. I've had some laminate on there from before. That is trimmed. Now let's go ahead and round the corners while we're at it. Now, even though the corners of the actual folder aren't rounded, I'm going to round the laminate so that it's not so sharp. So I'm just going to do a 1/2 inch rounding on all 4 sides or corners. Let's go ahead and try and punch out those center divots with the hole punch. All right, then I'm going to take my scissors and round that area just like I did for the cardstock. Might have did too much that time. All right, so that is ready to be folded, but before I do, I'm going to go ahead and open the pockets. So I'm going to take my metal ruler and my blade and line this up right on the edge. Let's do it from the other side so we can see the air bubble, because this is a little tricky. I'm going to have to manually go around that curve there, so I don't want to cut too far. I'm going to start at the beginning of the curve and go over. Okay, so that's open. Now I'm going to go around the curve. Before I go around the curve, let's do this part here. And then go around the curve. I hope I did that. Nope. Let's try a little bit more. There we go. So I might need to clean that up a little bit. We'll see. And yes, I'm going to need the laminator again. So I turned it on. Let me put it on the right setting. Go ahead and cut open the next pocket. You want to make sure you're using a good sharp knife too. I just recently finally changed the blade on this. And I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half. Burnish that fold. And now the folder is ready. So while we're waiting on that, let's pop this in and see what it's like. That's much better, much more sturdy. I don't like that it flops open, but I think it will relax eventually. And I am going to go ahead and run it through the laminator again, just to make sure that the edges where I cut it are attached as well as they can be. So I'm going to run that through again. I gotta find some other way to store the other pen. All right, so that's done. Now let's go ahead and cut this one out. I'm going to start by just cutting along the one edge. I'm not going to try to do any of the rounding. And so you see here, this is open, okay? So once I cut around all four sides, I can take that extra piece of paper away and we'll have one-sided lamination without risking my laminator. So there we go. This I can do with whatever, trash, or reuse it if I needed it for something else. Now I can go ahead and finish cutting out the rest of this. This side is not laminated, but the outside is. So let's finish cutting this. So everything's cut, and I'm going to go ahead and score it like I did before. So I did 4 1/8 in the center. Ooh. Ooh. Have to be careful. Let's rub that out. The bottom at 2 1/2. Each side at 1/2 inch. Now if you do this, I do recommend a scoreboard for folding the laminate unless you fold it before you laminate. Okay. And this is a big 12 by 12. They do have smaller scoreboards available. I'll link to those in the description box below. All right. Let's burnish, burnish, burnish. Now this is a little tricky because I'm going to be gluing laminate to paper or laminate to paper. This is why I was a little hesitant to do it this way, because you're going to need a good glue or double-sided tape to make this stay in place. But it's a nice option, I think. All right, so everything is burnished. Should we put the flaps on the outside this time? I still think they look better on the inside. Because this is laminated, I'm going to use a more heavy-duty glue. I'm going to need a few clips. Clips are from Dollar Tree. And I'm using Fabri-Tac. So let's close this. Oop, that's a lot of glue. It's not going to want to stay by itself either. All right, I tried it with glue on that side. Let's try it with double-sided tape on this side and see how it goes. See which one I like better. I think the double-sided tape works better. Yeah, it's a cleaner adhesive. And this seeped out a little bit. So let's see, I'll wipe some of that up. All right, now this is the tricky part because we're gluing paper to laminate. I'm not sure that this is going to work very well. And burnish that down. I think it's not going to work, but we can always come back and add some glue to it. Burnish, burnish, burnish. All right. Is that going to come up? I don't know. Burnish, burnish, burnish. I think it'll hold. It probably would hold better with the double-sided tape and a little glue. But let's just see how the double-sided tape holds up. And this isn't the special heavy-duty tape, but we'll see. All right, let's fold and burnish the fold. So this is 1/4 inch double-sided tape. I think I got this from Dollar Tree. It may have come from Amazon, but I doubt it. All right, so this is our 2 folder options. Clean up a little bit. I didn't put the divots in. Let's put the divots because we're definitely going to need those. This is the folder with only single-sided laminate, and then this one, it's double laminate here. So I guess, you know, you have 2 options. You can do whichever one you prefer. Now let's see about relaminating these. I'm going to feed them in pocket. Ooh. Yeah, pocket first. And if you use glue, make sure your glue is dry. Mine wasn't. But make sure your glue is. I suggest you use tape if you're going to relaminate. I hope that didn't come out in the laminator. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and fold this. I should have folded it as soon as it came out so that that fold would set in quickly. There we go. Fold it as soon as it comes out. I need something heavier to set on it. Why don't I have anything heavy? The planner's on it. Okay. So now I think we are done with the laminator. All right, so I didn't catch this one as soon as it came out, but this one I did, and you can see it stays closed a little better. This one's gonna take some working with. And I could run it back through again, but no, we won't do that. All right. So I think I like this one the best. Let me know which one you like best. So this one has the border around it where I wasn't able to cut inside the seal. You can also see a little dent of the inside pocket on this one. Not a big deal, but yeah, it's there. This one is completely smooth. There is the issue of whether the pockets will hold with that double-sided tape, but they seem to be okay. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Which one would you do? Which one would you choose? I do think I like this one better. It just seems more sturdy. And since my elastics are in an awkward position, I think this one would be better. And I think I'm going to put it in the back so that it can have the weight of the other notebooks, the other inserts, to kind of hold it in place until it is trained to lay flat. All right, so that is another project done for the setup of this notebook using the Walmart daily planners. I really like how this turned out. Don't forget to go over and download your free version of this. It is linked in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And you may be interested in this other video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.